Welcome to the athlete briefing for the 2021 Challenge Almere-Amsterdam Middle Distance. I'll be taking you through the steps required for our race for the upcoming race on Friday. This is not the briefing for the long distance race that takes place on Sunday. A briefing for that will be distributed later. This is only relevant to those people racing on Friday for the middle distance and the relay teams in that series. My name is Richard Belderock. I'm the race director for the race and I'll be taking you through these next steps. This is an agenda of our event coming up. If you have any questions after the briefing, you can go to the registration desk or the information desk at the theater and they will happily answer any questions you still have. As we said, welcome to you, our guests of Challenge Almere-Amsterdam. This is our venue. This is a picture of a couple of years ago. Of course, we skipped last year due to COVID and we're happy to have you back in our city. Some facts for those who are not familiar with the race in Almere. Almere has been organizing long distance triathlons since 1983. There's the European Championship long distance taking place in 1985, 1991, 1999, 2006, 2014, 2017 and 2019. And we had the World Championship Long Distance in 2008, and it will also be hosted this Sunday at our venue in 2021, finally after a year of absence. In total, with races on Thursday, Friday and Sunday, we welcome more than 1,700 athletes over these 3 days. Also, more than 700 volunteers are here to assist you in case you have any questions. We aim for quality. We will send a survey after this race to you, so we hope you fill it in and provide us with the feedback regarding our event, so we can learn from that for next year. Well, this is my team, our team of the Challenge Almere-Amsterdam, and our full team wishes you the best race ever. We want to see you at the finish line and celebrate your successes that you can finally have after this difficult year in the pandemic. To extend some of the welcomes, I want to welcome all the World Triathlon officials. For our race, technical delegate is Kalle Jensen, the assistant technical delegate is Hans Geerts, and the head referee Sander Verheuvel. Timetable for the races and the days leading up to that. On Thursday at 2 p.m. registration opens for everyone for the middle distance, and at 7 it closes. And that's actually the only part on our schedule specifically for the middle distance. The event takes place in the central event location Esplanade at the Weerwater Lake in Almere Stad. So the biggest part of our venue you can see here. The main entrance to the venue is on this top part of the venue. You can access there in case you have a Corona check app QR code. That means you are either vaccinated, you are either cured from COVID, or you can show a recent 24-hour-old negative test result, preferably booked through Testen voor Toegang, but we accept any antigen or PCR test result at this check-in. Then you are entered into the venue, and into the Kunstlinie is where the registration takes place, and you will see the finish line already then on your right hand side. Transition area is here on the outside in the hospital garage, so this orange block here, that's where the transition area is, and the changing tent is just here in the waters, just near the water exit and the water start. That's taking place there. The registration process is 6 simple steps. So once you are on the venue on Thursday, you can enter the theater, go to the Kleine Zaal. It's pretty easy. It's a one-way stream set up for you. So follow the bank lines as set up. You can pick up the pasta party meal to go for that. So make sure you take that with you as well. Have your confirmation email ready. It was sent from the active.com registration system with a QR code on it. Make sure you have it either printed or on your mobile phone. In the Kleinzaal, you are asked to pick any lane of the lanes that's available to spread out due to COVID. Please keep a social distance there as well. Show your ID and triathlon license to the people at the registration office and receive your package that you need for the race. Your race package is an envelope containing the following items: a race number that needs to be worn on the back during the bike and on the front during the run, a tattoo decal to be placed on your upper arms, a bike number that needs to be placed on your bike under your bike saddle, a helmet race sticker which at least needs to be placed on the front side. You can also place it on the left and right side of the helmet. A swim cap, you can choose that based on the expected swim time. We'll come back on this a bit later when we talk about the swim corrals. You receive a red, blue and green bags and an accreditation bracelet that shows that you're an athlete and that you've picked up your race bag. There are gifts, vouchers in there as well that you can redeem on the expo and get your gifts for racing with us. The tattoo decals, you've got 2 of them for your both upper arms. When you're wearing longer sleeves, it's also okay to wear this on your lower arms. Place it on clean skin, remove the clear surface of the decal, place the number correctly with the logo on top, with the numbers in the right positions actually. Place it and press it with a damp cloth or sponge over the number for 30 seconds. And carefully remove the paper part of the decal. Then wait it for a couple of minutes for it to dry out. Don't touch it in the meantime before putting your shirt on. The bags you receive from us are in 3 colors. So the red one, it contains all the bike gear that cannot be attached to the bike. The blue, that contains all your running gear like shoes, etc., visor, sunglasses. And the green, that contains everything that you need after the race. In the theater, we ask you to not leave bags in the big entrance hall theater. There's limited space and this cannot be kept here. It's especially relevant for the relay teams. Bags that are left there will be removed and collected at another location. The best way to store your bags is in the big changing tent in the transition area. That's where this best place is. There's no green air pumps allowed in the green bags, but you can mark them separately with one of the stickers from your sticker sheet. So at the end of Thursday, you should have done this. We prepare you for the Friday, so you should have registered. That's the best. There's still an option on Friday morning as well, but if you've done it on Thursday, that's better. You should have filled your red and blue bags already for the check-in on Friday. You should prepare your bike and helmet already for the check-in on Friday as well. Make sure you're aware of this. Only equipment fixed on the bike is allowed, so all loose equipment must be in bags. If you need some help, the bike mechanic Van der Linde is a shop close by the Esplanade, opposite the Media Markt on the west side of the Esplanade, where they can do a quick checkup of your bike. Then on Friday, at 7 a.m. the transition area opens. That's also a moment when registration opens, so if you haven't picked up your registration pack, you can do it then. At 10 we close registration, and also immediately after we close the transition area because at 10:30 we start our middle distance, rolling start. To head towards the transition area, follow the green arrow as indicated here. So I'll mark it. So from the entrance here, follow the green arrow inside to the bike check-in. From the bike check-in, you can go to the transition area or to the changing tent out here. Before you can check into your transition area, make sure you have completed the following steps. So make sure your bike number is attached to the seat post of your bike, your helmet placed on the head with the chin strap on your head, with your chin strap fixed, the helmet sticker at least on the front side of your helmet, the race bib close at hand, because at that point, at bike check-in, that's the moment when the timing chip will be assigned to you. So you will not receive this during registration, you will receive this at bike check-in. The changing tent contains all your bags, and that's also the place where you hand in the green bag pre-start. So on the left side of the tent, looking at it from the water, and in this picture, and also on the west side, you hand in your green bag before the start. So just before the start, make sure your timing chip is on your left ankle. The green after race bag is handed in. You're ready for the swim start sign at the water side. You pick the right corral. Again, I'll come back to that. Stay behind the line of body bars that are patrolling. Well, for a rolling start, they won't be there, so that should be easy. There's a limited possibility for pre-start swim. So if you want to do that, make sure you're out of the water before the start. The rolling start and the choice of corrals. So as said, during the registration process, you get to select your start corral and you will get a swim cap in the right color for that corral. These are the four options. Choose to swim the 1.9K in less than 30 minutes, then you're in corral 1. In 30 to 34 minutes, then you're in corral 2. If you think you do it in 35 to 40 minutes, you're in corral 3. And if you think you're doing 40 minutes over 40 minutes, then you're in corral 4. So these are marked just before the swim entrance, 4 lanes which will be marked with signs where you can prepare for your start. A swim course, a one loop course, 1.9K, the distance to the first buoy is approximately 350 meters. It's a rolling start, so you start in small groups of a couple of athletes per second. Turn at the white Red Bull pyramid-shaped buoys, and the red buoys are indication buoys, so there will be red smaller buoys in between those bigger buoys, but those are only indication. The Red Bull pyramid buoys, those are the ones where you turn. Always keep the buoys on your left hand side and it should be fine. Exiting the water, we follow the yellow line as a flow for the transition. I'll mark it as well. So coming from the water at the bottom, you move into the transition area, into the changing tent. You pick your correct bag, you change into your bike gear, and then you exit the tent here from the top right. Then you pass by on this area and then head towards the transition area. In the transition area, you enter in the left bottom corner. You immediately find your bike somewhere in the transition area and exit from the top right corner. With the bike in hand, you walk outside of the transition area, past the transition area, out the transition area towards the bike mount line, which is where the moment you are allowed to start biking. Make sure the moment you pick up your bike, you touch your bike, that your helmet is fastened. That's the most important part. So you're only allowed to touch your bike if your helmet is fastened. For the relays, your timing chip is essential in this place. So make sure your biker will be ready in the relay zone in the changing tent, waiting for you in that area. That's where the swimmer hands the chip to the biker, puts it on the left ankle again, and the biker will then follow the same route as indicated and also with the bike in hand walk to the mount line and start his bike course or her bike. So again, after the swim, on the left, the closest entrance to the swim exit, you enter the tent, and on the top right, you exit. There are toilets as well that you can use, so after changing tent, you can go to the toilets before heading towards the bike. That's a possibility. It's on the right side of the tent. So the red bag is used after the swim. What you do is you take the red bag from the rack, you take out the gear that you need on the bike, you put in all your swimming gear that you don't need anymore after the swim, and then you put the red bag back on the rack, and then you go to the bike. The bike course, idyllic course with the windmills, of course. For those racing more often or have raced more often with us in Almere, there's a slight change this year in the course because of the split of days and the impact on the city. We looked for an alternative way to connect the Gooimeerdijk to the IJmeerdijk, so the bottom dike to the top dike. So for those who know aware, that's a change in the course. The lap now is also more precise, so it's 91k for the bike course, and at the very end, at the split, at the 86k, you go back to the transition area. Well, it's all set up for you. You can't go wrong because there's no split this year. It's an easy way to go back to the transition area. Every 10 kilometers marked, and you always have to keep right on all the lanes to have other athletes passing you on the left side. So always keep right. Some special attention. I highlighted some of those points in the map. So the middle distance at about 7k, you pass by the Havenkom, the harbor in Almere-Haven. There are two corners that can be dangerous for those maybe sightseeing or preparing a bit. There's currently constructions going on there, so there are some hard iron plates there. Those will be removed, but there are the corners and they are pretty dangerous, so be careful in this part. We will mark it and we'll have everything ready there to make sure you are aware of this situation. Well, as said, there's a new connecting part between the Gooimeerdijk and the IJmeerdijk. There are some parts where it's a bit worse, especially towards the end. Some potholes. We closed as many as we can. Over the past couple of weeks, but we still ask you to be careful for that part. You should be fine, and we mark them as much as we can, but also want to ask for your careful. Once you're on the IJmeerdijk on top, you follow the car road, which is perfect asphalt, so no bothering there. So a bit careful in this first part. At 40k, that's when you have a choice to stay on the bike path or you can take the road of the Knardijk. It's an option available for you, also specifically for the World Championship solution. Then at 70k, you enter the forest of Zeewolde. It's narrow and there are two sharp corners to the right. So also here, be careful. We will highlight it and we will have people there. But we know from previous years that it goes well, but again, special attention to you when you're racing. So at the end, heading back towards the transition area, a split or kind of a corner to the right because some people might just came back, so there was an out and back situation. There's no out and back situation, but it is set up with an out and back situation. That there those lanes are split, so keep right, turn into transition, and otherwise if you go straight you're on course for a next lap, and that's would be a shame of your personal best, of course, if you continued like that. So to repeat the important parts, I will highlight again the issues. So this is the harbor with the construction works with the two corners. This is the connecting part from the Gooimeerdijk to the IJmeerdijk, which has some potholes, especially on this part of the section, the second part of the section. This is the Knardijk where you can choose between the bike path and the car road. And this is the forest of Zeewolde where there are the two sharp corners. And then finally at the split you go back to the transition area. On the bike course there are 8 stations. There's a coach area. Every 22 kilometers there's an aid station, so there's 3 of them at 20k, 42k and 64k. There's a coach area just before the Havenkom, just before the harbor on the Veerkade, and where a coach can give you some additional nutrition. On the 8 stations, our volunteers will serve you with these choice of nutrition. There's half bananas, there's power bar, energized bars, there's power bar energy gels, there's iso drink, Power Isoactive in a yellow drink bottle. There's water, could be mostly in a white drink bottle, but potentially they also serve you with Power Bar because we'll probably run out of the white drink bottles. As Power Bar provided us with sufficient drink bottles for serving in them both. So be aware of that. The volunteers will be wearing vests to give you those nutrition. So if you're looking for something special on the aid stations, make sure you memorize these colors. On the bike course, there's a pickup service driving around, a broom car, medical assistance is there. So if you notice anyone in need, please be good sportsmanship. So show your sportsmanship and alarm the next volunteer you see. If you can remember the bib number of that athlete in need, then that will be really helpful for us. There's no tech support on the course, so it's all up to you to make sure you manage everything with your bike. Any technical issues. Heading back into transition 2, so coming into the right bottom of this picture, at the dismount line you dismount and with the bike in hand you walk towards the transition area. You enter in the bottom again and then rack your bike in the transition area and exit from the top right corner. The moment you let go of your bike and hang it on your spot, then you're allowed to unclip your helmet. Then with walking outside of the transition area, all the way outside into the changing tent, enter from the top left, change into here, and then the exit is the bottom right part of the changing tent before you turn a right and into the stadium for your start of your run lap. Again, for the relay teams, the timing chip is essential, so the biker will follow the same route running around the transition area to rack their bike, and when entering into the changing tent, he will go to the relay zone where he will hand the chip to the runner, who then starts the run. So once more, also specifically for the changing tent, you enter in the top left corner, in this case, and you exit from the bottom right corner, the furthest corner. So yeah, that flow will be indicated, but to keep it safe and to keep it fair for everyone, this is the official way to use it. In this second transition after bike, you use the blue bags. So the blue bags, you take the blue bag from the rack, you take out the gear you need from the run, like your shoes, sunglasses, maybe a drink bottle, belt, whatever you want on the run, you take it out. You put in all the biking gear that you don't need anymore. So those are all the loose stuff that you couldn't attach to your bike, so only the shoes. And you put the blue bag on the rack. Then you go to the run course. This is a nice picture of a run. So the run course, one lap of 7K, every kilometer is marked, and there's a coach station under the Apollo or Leonardo Hotel, as it just recently was renamed, and the whole course is 99% tarmac. A good thing to mention is that this part of the run course is in a construction site, so you can't test this part of the course before the race day. So this part is only possible to run during the race weekend, which we will signal and make sure you can run safe there. But it's a construction site, not allowed during normal days, only for us as the event goes on. You're responsible for your own lap counting, so make sure you run 3 laps on the run course, and the timing mats on the course are there to check afterwards if you completed the right number of laps for your middle distance race. Also on the run course there are aid stations, about approximately every 1.5 kilometers. They serve gels first at the aid station, energy gels, then some bananas, energized bars from Power Bar, then Isoactive in a yellow paper cup, and cola in a red paper cup, and water in a brown paper cup. Some of them also have showers to cool down. Because for sustainability, we no longer use sponges, but there will be a couple of aid stations that have showers. Due to COVID as well, volunteers will be wearing vests, but they will place the cups on the aid station. So you need to pick the right cups from the aid station stalls. So make sure you run not too hard, not push over all the cups that are there, but make sure you only pick a few that you want and keep it nice for other athletes that are behind you and also want something to drink. Some rules on the courses. Drafting, important rule, the draft zone is 12 meters long, measured from the front wheel of the first bike to the front wheel of the second bike. In case you are in a drafting position and you are penalized, you will be shown a blue card, which means a 5-minute penalty in the penalty box. Receiving a blue card 3 times is a disqualification. Mount your bike after the mount line and dismount it before the dismount line. No biking in the transition area after this line. And rack your bike correctly inside its own space in the transition area. Leave used equipment in the bag, not with the bike. Good to know, and so no loose materials around the bike. And don't use action cameras, for instance GoPros and mobile phones on your bike. We want you to be aware of your surroundings. And on the run, it's not allowed to have assistance from guiding bikers. And it's also not allowed to push or be pushed on the run by other runners or bikers. The officials will notify you of a penalty by blowing a sharp whistle, calling your number and showing you a card, either yellow, blue or red. A red card, which means immediate disqualification, should not necessarily be preceded by a yellow card that can be shown at once in case of really serious infringements. Drafting rules in practice. Overtaking must be done swiftly. The athlete caught up must create the distance. And we want you to avoid the appearance of drafting. So make sure you're away a lot of distance between the athlete in front of you and not just on the edge. The officials need to make a split-second call, and if you're in the borderline, then they will make that decision. Good thing as well to mention are on all the aid stations, only at the aid stations, you're allowed to throw away trash. So the littering zones are only around the aid stations. If you're caught littering outside of the aid stations, this is a rule where the officials can show you a red card, which is immediate disqualification. We want you to keep our environments clean. Penalty box, because the most cases in your race you will get the penalties on the bike if that's needed. Others are correct and amend. Is just before heading back to the transition area. So after 85k on the bike, that's where the bike penalty box will be for the middle distance. The limits in place for our event. The swim course closes 1 hour and 15 minutes after the last start. So as it's a rolling start, this is a flexible kind of limit, but the bike course we close at 4. Finish closes at 6:30. So there is, if you start at the very first moment, 8 hours to finish your race. We ask you to leave the theater by 8 because we need to prepare for all the other activities in the weekend. Final timetable, around 6 in the finish area, finish stadium. We'll start with the award ceremony for everyone who is in the prizes in his age category for awards. The top 6 of each age group in the Challenge Almere middle distance. Challenge Almere-Amsterdam middle distance is being invited to the championship that takes place next year, May 2020, May 22 in 2022, so May 22nd in next year, where all the athletes will be invited with an invitation soon after the race. You can choose to redeem it or pass it, and if you pass it, there will be a roll down to the 12th position. And we, of course, expect many of our Almere-Amsterdam athletes to be present there and celebrate with us this great event with all other Challenge Family athletes that qualified all over the world. Last minute tips, tricks, and notices. Don't blindly follow motors. In some cases, they take different routes. Don't draft. Obey the drafting rules. Very clear on this part. If you withdraw from the race, please inform a technical official or a volunteer, preferably with a radio, so we know that you're out of the race. And there's merchandise available from the Challenge Almere Challenge family at our expo at the Challenge Family shop. For supporters, of course, now in the COVID rules, only one supporter allowed in the stadium, so check the application process for that. There was information sent out on how to apply for this. And if you want to follow yourself or you want your friends and family come back at home to follow you, check out our 2021 World Triathlon Championship app or the Challenge Family app with the live timing link. For the Sunday races, live stream and live timing is available as well via live.challenge-almere.com, and the live stream will have commentary from Belinda Granger. So that's it. We want to wish you all the best. In case you have questions, please refer to our info desk in the theater or the registration desk in the Kleine Zaal. That concludes this briefing. We want to wish you all the best for your race. Have a safe and good race and enjoy, and we'll see you at the finish line. Thank you.